Hello everyone. Today let us deal with the continuation of your Fourier representation. We have till now dealt with the Fourier representation equation, how to find the Fourier transform, how to find the inverse Fourier transform, existence of Fourier transform. There are two conditions, and then we have seen few of the properties of Fourier transforms, just like in analogous to the Z transforms. We have seen the derivations also for those properties, and today let us deal with the problems on how to find the Fourier transforms. I'm again repeating it, as we have already dealt with the Z transforms. Whatever problems we are going to solve, all will be a bit familiar to you, because we have already solved the Z transform problems. So let us start with the first problem. The question is, determine the FT Fourier transform of x of n is equal to alpha raised to n. I'll just zoom it so that it is a bit clear to you. So this is the question. Alpha ranges between -1 to +1. Similar kind of question we have already dealt in the Z transform, alpha raised to n u of n. So what we will do, we'll start solving the problem based on the formula. So what is the formula for Fourier transform? It is given by x of omega is equal to summation n from minus to plus infinity x of n e raised to minus j omega n. This is the formula. Now the summation range will change according to our question, because the question has got u of n. So the limit is now from 0 to infinity, and alpha raised to n, u of n is covered already with the amplitude 1 and exponential term. Then what we will do, we will club all the powers and keep a common power n, alpha e raised to minus j omega. This we will keep together, and a common power n. After this, we need to go for alpha raised to n formula. What is alpha raised to n formula? If the range is between 0 to infinity, it is 1 by 1 minus alpha. That's what we have done here. 1 by 1 minus alpha. Alpha is alpha e raised to minus j omega. This is your problem. Till this you have already done similar kind of calculation in Z transform also. The remaining, if you see on the screen, I have done some manipulation. It is a simple mathematics, that's it. But otherwise this is your answer. Simple Fourier transform of alpha raised to n u of n. Now further, what I have done in the further steps is, instead of this exponential term, I have written it in cos and sine form. E raised to j theta is given by cos theta plus j sine theta. So likewise, e raised to minus j omega is cos minus j sine. That I have substituted here, and after substitution, if you just see, I have put a bracket here only to this part, indicating the real part, and j term is your imaginary part. After this, the rationalization I have done, numerator and denominator. How to do the rationalization? Just recall your basics of mathematics. If the denominator has a plus term here, I have to take the rationalization by a negative term. Okay, don't negate here. This complete real part, keep it as it is, 1 minus a cos omega, as it is. Only the in between part, if you see, here it is positive, it should be made negative. That's it. Then further is the simple mathematics. Numerator will be this, divided by denominator will be a plus b into a minus b. That is a square minus b square. That I have written here, and further expand this bracket, you will get this, and this is j square will be minus 1, minus into minus will become plus. So plus a square sine square omega. Further, again further simplification, if I keep this numerator and denominator in this way, after simplification, I can split this complete x of omega in two parts. One is, observe, numerator has got this and this as real and imaginary parts. Denominator is common. So denominator I have kept it common. I have split real and imaginary part. That's it. Okay. Now, after this, as we need to go for Fourier transform, as you are having a real and imaginary part, it would be better for us to go for the magnitude and the phase calculation. If the answer is only in terms of number or some equation, that would have been kept as it is. But as we have got the answer in some real and imaginary part, J term has come. If you observe here we have got real part and imaginary parts, so better to keep your answer in magnitude and phase part. That's what I have done here. Magnitude is given by square root of a square plus b square. This is your a, this is your b. So square root of a square plus b square. I have simplified it further. Denominator whole square, numerator this a minus b whole square, I have expanded it, and clubbing this and this, cos and sine. One step I have jumped, you can make it one more step. First expand it and then take a square common. I have done it here itself. Then cos square plus sine square is equal to 1. So if you just observe, one power will cancel with the numerator, you will be left with this. This is your magnitude part. And how to find the phase, you know it already. If you have a plus j beta, magnitude is square root of a square plus b square, and phase is given by tan inverse of b by a. That is the phase. So that's what I have done here. Tan inverse of b. What is b? This is your b, this is your a. Okay, ab. Tan inverse of b by a. Keep this, denominators gets cancelled if you take the ratio. So minus a sine omega and 1 minus a cos omega. Minus a sine and 1 minus a cos. So further, this negative term which is inside the bracket, you can put it outside the tan. That I have done it at the final step. So actually here itself we got the answer. Just to get the real and imaginary part and magnitude and phase, let us put E in terms of cos and sine and evaluate this. So this is the first problem. Let us go to the second problem. Again, this kind of problem we have already solved in Z transform. Find the Fourier transform of U of n. So start with the formula. X of omega is given by the summation x of n exponential term. And now the range, as the question is u of n, range will be from 0 to infinity and exponential term. Then further what to do? Just alpha will be, the power is n, alpha is e raised to minus j omega. So substitute the formula 1 by 1 minus alpha. This is your final answer. Here, let us try to make some analysis based on the result. If you remember, even in Z transform, in order for the Z transform to exist, we used to put certain condition for the denominator. Because if denominator becomes 0, your x of Z will never exist there. So ROC, there is no question of ROC. So we used to put a condition for the denominator. Similarly, if you observe here the denominator, what will happen if your omega is equal to 0? If you put omega is equal to 0, e raised to 0, which is 1. So your denominator will be like this. So 1 by 1 minus 0 is 1 minus 1 is 0. 1 by 0 will be infinity. We don't want this. If this becomes infinite, it is not convergent. Okay, so Fourier transform will not exist. That's why I have written a comment here. If you observe, for omega is equal to 0, your Fourier transform will become 0. It is not convergent. One comment. And this itself is your answer. Again, what we will do, we can, as your answer is having exponential term, we can put that exponential term in the form of cos and sine. So what I have done here, you can observe how I have represented 1. Can you just see? This is 1 e raised to minus j omega by 2 into e raised to plus j omega by 2. If you multiply these two, again these two gets cancelled, e raised to 0, I will get back 1. So I have 1 here. So to write simply 1, instead of writing 1, I have written in exponential form. That I have done it here. You can observe minus, and this how I can write e raised to minus j omega. How you can write this? E raised to minus j omega by 2 into e raised to minus j omega by 2. That is half plus half will become 1, right? Again, if you just simply add these two, half plus half, 1 e raised to minus j omega, you will get it back. So in the next step, what I have done, 1 is represented in this way and this is represented in half plus half way. Then further in the next step, we can take e raised to minus j omega by 2 common. That I have done here. So you will be left with one term here and one term here. Those two, put it together, and you know it already in the this polar form, exponential form, when you have got a negative sign, it means you need to have sine theta. For sine theta, denominator should be 2j. That's why I have multiplied and divided by 2j. Okay, so after that, what you can do, all this you can replace it with sine omega by 2, and remaining this 2j I have kept it as it is. And as it is like this, e raised to minus j omega by 2, so I can take this negative to the numerator, so e raised to j omega by 2. So this is your answer. Actually we could have stopped here, but otherwise, just to make it in real and imaginary form, that we're putting cos and sine, we can get this. Okay, this is the second problem, u of n. uh, the third problem, we need to find the Fourier transform of delta of n. Again, for Z transform also we have solved how to find the Z transform of delta of n. So let us start with the formula. X of omega is given by summation x of n exponential term, and the delta is what? The impulse signal. Impulse signal exists only at n is equal to 0 with the amplitude 1, unit impulse signal. So summation will vanish, your amplitude will become 1 at n is equal to 0. N is equal to 0, substitute e raised to 0. So your answer will be 1 for all omega. So whatever may be the summation n value, whatever may be the frequency value, whatever may be the time value, your complete Fourier transform value will be equal to 1. So 1, it means what is the it is something like this: a plus jb is equal to 1. It means only you are having a is equal to 1, j b value is 0. Hence the magnitude is square root of a square plus b square. It is nothing but 1 only, and the phase is tan inverse of b by a. 0 by a, tan inverse of 0 is 0 itself. That's what the magnitude and the phase values. This is the third problem. The problems are very simple. Okay, let us go to the next problem. Again, if you observe this problem also, we have solved it in the Z transform. X of n is a minus alpha raised to n of minus n minus 1. So let us start. This is the formula. X of omega is equal to summation x of n exponential term. Now, what is the range for u of minus n minus 1? This is your u of n. Okay, what to do next? Whether shift first or scaling first? I need to go for shifting first. So minus 1 means it will start from 1. So it is u of n minus 1. And finally, if you let it, minus n minus 1 is minus infinity to minus 1 is the range for this. So that's what I have written here. The summation range is minus infinity to minus 1, and this minus alpha raised to n is in question, x of n exponential. Now, just to make this summation simpler, what we can do, either you can go like this, what I have done, I've substituted some value, or in Z transform, how you used to do, you can follow that method, no issues. Okay, there are many multiple ways to come towards a solution. This is one method I have followed. You can go for that Z transform method also. In Z transform, we used to do like that. Negative is convert it to positive in positive time. So this inside signs will change. So that for method we have followed there. But here let's see, this is one more method how to solve that. You can see. So this is your summation. I have substituted n is equal to minus m just to make the limits positive. Okay. So minus m will be minus infinity to minus 1, and n will become minus m, n will become minus m. So this lower limit m is equal to infinity, negative gets cancelled, and upper limit will be 1, and inside the signs gets changed. Okay. Then either if I have like this, if I add the terms from left to right or right to left, it doesn't matter. So summation is from 1 to infinity, this term. Now further, this itself is nothing but, don't go for this, no issues. You can directly apply the formula. If you remember, in the Z transform I had given you some list of formula. If it is 1 to infinity, it is 1 alpha by 1 minus alpha or something like that. Okay. So no need to go for this. I have just expanded and then applied, no problem. You can directly apply the formula. Okay. So alpha by 1 minus alpha. So this is your fourth problem. Then coming to the fifth problem, we need to find the Fourier transform of this limited signal. It has got some 5 samples, 1, 3, 5, 3, 1. And we have to calculate the Fourier transform at omega is equal to 0. Frequency omega is equal to 0. Let's start with the formula. And if we observe, the arrow mark is at 5, means n is equal to 0. 0 point is amplitude 5. So x of 0, the amplitude is 5. Then 3 indicates x of minus 1, 1 indicates x of minus 2. This is x of plus 1, x of plus 2. So x, I have expanded the formula. See here, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. I have expanded and I have substituted the sample values. Okay. After substitution, I have got this. So this is your final answer. 5 as it is. Exponential term, these two I can club together, e raised to j omega, e raised to j omega plus, I think it is 3 raised to j omega plus 3 e raised to minus j omega. What I can do, I'll simply divide by 2 and multiply by 2, so that 3 I can take it common. Just take 3 outside. Okay, 3 into all this. This complete is nothing but your cos omega. Okay, and this 3 and 2 are outside. 3 to the 6. So it is 6 cos omega. And similarly, take this and this. E raised to j 2 omega plus e raised to minus j 2 omega. So what I'll do, I'll divide by 2 and multiply by 2. This complete represents your cos 2 omega. This 2 term is as it is. So 2 cos 2 omega. So this is your answer. Now the question is extended. We have to calculate your Fourier transform at omega is equal to 0. Substitute omega is equal to 0. Cos 0 is 1. So 5 plus 6 plus 2 will become 13. Next problem. This is the given question. See here, moreover, simplification is important. Okay, because the concept, that concept understanding is already done halfway in Z transform. When we were dealing with the Z transform, you have already seen all these things. So here important thing is how you're clubbing the things, how you're simplifying, how you're converting that exponential terms to sine and cos. That is important here. So this is the next problem. X of n is given in this way. So start with the formula summation. Now if you just see in general, the range will be from minus m to plus m. Okay, because the x of n is given as 1 between minus 1 to minus m to plus m. So x of n I have substituted as 1. Then further you can just see the lower limit, n is equal to minus m. So what I can do, n plus m is equal to 0, and substitute this as some variable L, that I have shown it here. So L is equal to 0 to L is equal to 2m. How I got 2m? Let me show you. It is n is equal to m. Okay, the upper limit. So what will be n is equal to? L minus m. So L exponential term as it is. Instead of n, what to substitute? L is equal to n plus m. So n is equal to L minus m. So n will be L minus m. Further, the next step is just split it. The variable is L. So take m outside, exponential of m outside. You'll be left with this. For this particular summation, you can simply go for formula. Okay, I think the formula is summation from 0 to n minus 1, that alpha is to n. If that is the case, 1 by alpha is to n divided by 1 minus alpha. This is the formula. So if you just, yeah, I have written it here. If you apply that formula, we can get this. Okay, and further what I have done, as I have told you already, anyways I'm sharing these slides with you. The simplification part, you can go through it. What I have done, this one I have represented like this, minus, and really I'm showing you minus theta by 2 into plus theta by 2, so that both gets cancelled, e raised to, okay, both cancelled, you will get e raised to 0, which is equal to 1. That I have written here. Okay, minus this complete, just in the previous problem how we did, if it is omega, I will write it like this, omega by 2 plus omega by 2, e raised to, okay, e raised to omega by 2 and e raised to omega by 2, so that half plus half will become 1. Okay, that adjustment I have done for both numerator and denominator, and further I have simplified, and finally I have written the answer in sign form. So this simplification, you can go through it. If you don't understand anything, please ping me. Okay. Okay. The next problem, you can see it here. Find the DTFT of minus 1 raised to n u of n. Just now in the previous slide, you have seen u of n. This time it is minus 1 raised to n u of n. So start with the formula. Summation range, as you have u of n, it will be from 0 to infinity, minus 1 raised to n, and this. And club both these things and put a common power. And here it will be 1 minus of minus will become plus 1 by 1 minus alpha. And again, the adjustment, what I have done, 1 can be written like this. Okay, minus omega by 2 e raised to, and e raised to plus omega by 2. So that e raised to 0, you will get it as 1. And this can be written as j omega, omega by 2 into omega by 2. So that half plus half will become 1. So after this adjustment, what I can do, I can take this common exponential term, you will be left with only this. So as cos term has denominator 2, so multiply and divide by 2. This 2 will be left out, and this complete bracket indicates cos term. So that I have written. Next problem, we need to find the DTFT of this particular signal. If you observe u of n minus u of n minus 6, this is your u of n, and n minus 6 means it starts from 6. So if you subtract these two signals, your signal will be 0 to 6, not 6, 0 to 5 you will get. Sixth value both gets cancelled. So your signal is something like this. So 0 to 5 will be the range. That I have written here, 0 to 5 and exponential term of the formula. Now you can apply the formula for this, that summation alpha raised to n 0 to n minus 1 is equal to 1 minus alpha raised to n divided by 1 minus alpha. N minus 1 is 5. So what is n? N is equal to 5 plus 1, 6. That's why the power, if you observe, 1 minus e raised to minus j 6 omega, because n is equal to 6. This is the formula. Then next problem, x of n is equal to half raised to n u of n minus 4. Start with the formula. I've substituted the formula, and as the question has u of n minus 4, your summation range will be from 4 to infinity, not 0, from 4 to infinity. And as it is 4 to infinity, I have clubbed the power of n all together and may put a common power, and you can directly apply the formula. Just try to recall the Z transform. I have shared you a slide of list of formula for alpha. So it is alpha raised to 4 divided by 1 minus alpha. And further, this itself is your answer. But if you want to represent this complete, whatever we have calculated in terms of magnitude and phase, you can try. What to do? Here I have written it directly. What you can do, try to represent these exponential terms in term, don't touch the numerator, because numerator has only real part. Okay, don't touch the numerator. With respect to the denominator I'm talking about, because if you just expand this exponential minus e raised to minus j omega cos minus j sine, you substitute here also cos minus j sine, simplify that ratio, you and after simplification you will get something like this. Okay, some real part you will get and some imaginary part. How to find the magnitude? Just make it like this, and phase will be tan inverse of v by a. Try to get this for this particular equation, numerator by denominator. I have stopped it here and I have written the answer here. You can just cross verify. Further, next problem, 2 raised to n into u of minus n. As your question has u of minus n, range is from minus infinity till 0, and as it is the substitution of x of n. Again, you can do what? Substitute m is equal to minus n, or you whatever method you know, you can apply. Just make the negative time to positive, the inside powers will have a sign change. That's what has been done here. So 0 to infinity, your power will change from negative to positive. And summation of alpha raised to n, 1 by 1 minus alpha. And I have just simplified this. Take the LCM and put it to the numerator. Further, just check it. It is also similar to the earlier problem. Here it is u of n plus 4. It was earlier n minus 4. So range was 4 to infinity. Now here it is u of n plus 4. N plus 4 means it starts with minus 4. Okay, it is like this. So range is from minus 4 to infinity. Okay, so remaining all the same. Again, substitution, what I have done. What you can do here, It is actually n is equal to minus 4, lower limit. So what I'll do, I'll just make it n plus 4 is equal to 0 and substitute n plus 4 is equal to L. L is equal to 0. So, or m is equal to 0. Here I have used m. M is equal to 0, 0 to infinity. And n value will be, what is n? N plus 4 is equal to, I am substituting it as m. N will be m minus 4. Substitute that at the power and further simplify. Apply the formula of alpha raised to n. Remember here I have taken it exponential of this part outside. Only the m part is inside the summation. Then here this kind of problem I think we have solved it in even Z transform, where this mod of n was there that time also. I had told you, if you remember, whenever mod term comes, it can take both negative and positive value. We have split this into two halves. Okay, so two summations, and remaining all procedure is same. Alpha club all the powers and put a common power n for both. Then alpha raised to n summation 1 to infinity alpha by 1 minus alpha formula. This is alpha raised to n 0 to infinity 1 by 1 minus alpha. Further is simplification. Take the denominator, cross multiply it, solve the numerator, you will get this answer. Yes, further, if you just look at this, I think the question is not visible. Probably it is sign of something. Yes, you can just see the question here. It is here. If you see alpha raised to n sine of omega naught n. What this? Let us see. I'll just this slide is not clear. I can just take this problem at least as for now. Okay. So the question is, don't go for this. Let's see. We will take this problem. Delta of 6 minus 3n. Remember, whenever delta comes, only one value will exist. Okay. What is that value of n? If you have, say, delta of n, it means at n is equal to 0, amplitude is 1. If you have delta of n minus 1, it means at n is equal to 1, you have amplitude 1. How will you decide? From the inside bracket, n minus 1. Okay, n minus 1 is equal to 0, so n is equal to 1. So at n is equal to 1, from this inside bracket, you can determine. So in the same way, what you can do is, inside bracket you have 6 minus 3n. So just equate it to 0. You will get n value. I think minus 3n, or 3n is equal to 6, n is equal to 2 you will get. So at n is equal to 2, you can see it here, your delta of 2, n value you have to substitute, the summation will go. Okay, summation will vanish because delta has only single value. So what is that single value? You will get the amplitude 1. But no doubt n value matters because you have certain shift here. Okay, and as it is 1, here x of omega will be delta of 2 e raised to minus j 2 omega. Why 2? Because n value we have substituted it as 2. So the magnitude will be, out of this, what is the magnitude? It is actually cos of 2 omega minus j sine 2 omega. It is like that. So what is the magnitude? Magnitude value is 1 because delta of 2. is 1. So directly you can write it as magnitude as 1, and as you have the angle 2 of the phase is 2 omega, you can write it directly as 2 omega. I forgot to just change that slide. Let's see. Fine. So I think till some 8 to 9 problems very quickly I have shown you the slides and how to solve. I did not go in depth, of course, because as we have already done and dealt with Z transforms, the concept understanding is important rather than the calculations. Okay, calculation, no doubt you can do it manually when you get the slides with you. Okay, so just understand what we are doing it here. That is more important. So hopefully you understood today's session. No doubt the session was a bit fast today. Hope you understood the concept of the how to solve the problems. If you have any doubts, you can ping me. Okay, fine. So in the next class, hopefully tomorrow I'm planning, no doubt tomorrow is a Sunday, but as your internals are there, so tomorrow I'm planning to take at least one session for tomorrow. Please be prepared for tomorrow's session. So tomorrow I'll continue few more problems, not much, few more problems, probably the usage of properties, by using properties, how to deal with the problems. So tomorrow will be the last session for Fourier. Okay, that to DTFT. Let's see if further, if you're interested, we can continue. So thank you so much for attending today's session.